There's a kind of pain that doesn't show up in bruises or scars. It shows up in the silence after betrayal. It echoes in the soul of a man who gave his trust, his energy, his body, and was left hollow in return. And that pain usually starts in the place most men least expect it, between the sheets. Now, mutter to shame desire. I'm not here to condemn sexuality, but I am here to speak the hard truth most men are too afraid to say out loud. Some women weaponize intimacy. And if you don't know what to look for, you'll think it's love. You'll think it's passion. You'll think it's connection. But what you're really feeling is control. Let me be clear, this isn't about judging women. This is about waking up men. Because too many men today are living in fantasy. They confuse lust with loyalty. They confuse excitement with depth. They confuse good SX with good character. But listen closely, SX doesn't reveal her heart. It reveals your blind spot. So today, I want to expose something most men ignore. There are 3 specific bedroom behaviors, 3 positions she prefers that, when combined with certain patterns, should not be ignored. Not because the act itself is bad, but because of what's behind it. Let's talk about the first one. 1. The dominant control position. She loves to be on top. She wants to ride. She grabs your wrists, pins you down, controls the pace. Now, before you misunderstand, there's nothing wrong with a woman being expressive. That's not what I'm saying. But if her only expression of desire is about power, if she needs to dominate you in bed to feel alive, you are not making love. You're surrendering your masculine core. This woman doesn't want connection. She wants control. And often, this kind of woman has unresolved masculine wounds. Perhaps a father who abandoned her, or men who hurt her in the past, so she responds by becoming the man in every relationship. She'll outwork you. She'll out-argue. She'll outshine you. And in bed, she'll out-dominate you. It starts with passion but ends with resentment. Because deep down, a woman cannot respect a man she can control. And no matter how much she acts like she enjoys leading, she secretly resents you for letting her. You think she loves you. She loves the power dynamic she has over you. And the moment you try to reclaim your authority, she'll rebel, because you allowed her to believe you were weak too. The performance queen, she's obsessed with positions that show off her body, arching her back, legs spread wide, moaning like a porn star. She wants the lights on. She wants the camera out. She wants to be watched, adored, worshipped. Again, the act itself isn't wrong, but the energy behind it, it's all performance. This woman doesn't want to connect with you. She wants to be validated by you, and that's a dangerous game, because she will always need more. More attention, more stimulation, more external approval. You think she's deeply passionate. No, she's deeply insecure, and she's using the bedroom to fill a void in her soul. Here's the truth most men ignore. If she needs to be desired more than she wants to deeply bond, she will never be loyal to one man. Not because she's evil, but because she's empty. And you can't build trust with someone who only knows how to perform. You'll end up exhausted, trying to please someone who doesn't even know how to receive love without performance. 3. The pain chaser. She loves positions that involve choking, slapping, being degraded. She tells you to be rough. She begs for pain. She calls you daddy, then wants you to humiliate her. Again, we're not here to kink shame anyone, but you must ask yourself one question. Why does she need pain to feel pleasure? In many cases, this is not about pleasure at all. It's about buried trauma. A woman who craves degradation may be reenacting past wounds, not exploring desire. She's not being adventurous. She's numbing her emotional scars. And here's where it gets even more dangerous. She will attach herself to men who treat her like an object, then later blame them for using her. She will crave darkness until it consumes her, and you with it. You think you're connecting. No, you're just a character in her trauma story. And when she finally breaks down emotionally, she'll either collapse into despair or explode in blame, neither of which you can fix. Because you were never the source of her pain, but you became the outlet for it. Never trust a woman who confuses abuse with affection. Because one day you'll find yourself accused, confused, and broken, simply for giving her what she said she wanted. Now let me ask you this. What kind of man blindly gives his trust because the sex is good? A man who hasn't done his inner work. A man who confuses attention with affection. A man who doesn't understand his own worth. So he gives power to any woman who makes him feel wanted. That man, he will always be manipulated. But the awakened man, he sees through the act. He doesn't demonize her. He discerns her. He asks, why does she need control? Why does she crave pain? And he doesn't judge her, but he doesn't trust blindly either. Because real masculinity is not reactive. It's rooted. Here's what no one told you growing up. SX is not neutral. It's not just physical. It's a mirror of energy, psychology, trauma, and soul. Every position she chooses, every way she moves reveals how she loves. Or doesn't. And the man who is connected to his higher self can read that without being consumed by it. You can still enjoy pleasure, you can still explore, but you lead the dance, you set the tone, you stay in your power. Because when a woman sees a man who doesn't flinch at her chosk, who doesn't get addicted to her body, who doesn't need her approval to feel masculine, she either levels up or leaves. And either way, you win. Let's end with this. Most men are so starved for touch that they mistake surrender for intimacy. But physical closeness without emotional alignment is spiritual decay. It weakens your discernment, it clouds your judgment, it opens the door for betrayal. So the next time you're in that moment of temptation, when you meet the woman who pushes your buttons, excites your senses, satisfies your flesh, ask yourself, does this woman make me more powerful or more confused? Does she add peace to my life or chaos? Because the answer to that question is the difference between evolution and destruction. Gentlemen, not every woman deserves your trust. Not every woman deserves your vulnerability. Not every woman deserves your seed or your silence. Your body is a temple. Your masculine energy is sacred. Your life force is a currency of kings. Stop giving it to women who haven't earned it. Let her prove her softness. Let her show her loyalty. Let her rise to your standard, not the other way around. And above all, never trust a woman just because she gives you pleasure. Trust the one who gives you clarity. Some women use intimacy not as a bridge to connection, but as a weapon of influence. They don't offer their body because they're in love. They offer it to gain control, to seduce your attention, to pull you into an emotional fog where your logic shuts down and your boundaries dissolve. And most men, they fall for it. Why? Because we're conditioned to see sex as the ultimate prize. We think that if a woman gives us her body, it means she trusts us, desires us, or even loves us. But here's the truth, just because she's close to you physically doesn't mean she's close to you emotionally. There's a difference between surrender and strategy. There's a difference between passion and manipulation. And if you can't feel that difference, you'll get played. Understand this: some women use sex the way a magician uses distraction. While your eyes are focused on the pleasure, your intuition is being silenced. Your instincts are being ignored. And your judgment is being hijacked. You feel wanted, but you're being used. You feel chosen, but you're being tested. You feel in control, but you're being led. That's why the awakened man doesn't just react to the act. He reads the energy behind the act. Because her energy tells the truth her body may not. Is she opening to you with trust, with depth, with softness? Or is she trying to hook you, mold you, manipulate you with her performance? One will elevate your spirit, the other will empty your soul. And if you don't know how to tell the difference, you will keep losing to women who don't love you, they just know how to play you. So stay sharp, feel beyond the touch, read her frequency. And always remember, the body can lie, but energy never does. Certain sexual preferences aren't red flags in isolation. Liking a particular position, wanting to be dominant or submissive, even exploring intense fantasies. None of that automatically means something is wrong. Desire in itself isn't toxic. Expression in itself isn't unhealthy. But here's where most men go blinding. They see the preference, but never question the pattern. They're so distracted by how good it feels, how wild it looks, how adventurous it seems, that they miss the deeper signal underneath the surface. Because while the preference may be harmless on the outside, the psychological roots behind it often tell a different story. Some women chase dominance in the bedroom because they feel powerless everywhere else. Some crave pain because they've been conditioned to associate love with suffering. Some perform like actresses not because they enjoy the act, but because they've learned to equate performance with value. And when you, as a man, don't recognize the difference, you don't just lose your clarity, you inherit her wounds. You begin dancing to the rhythm of her unresolved trauma, thinking it's passion, when it's actually survival behavior. This is why the mature masculine doesn't just ask, what does she like? He asks, why does she need this to feel alive? But not to shame her, not to psychoanalyze her, but to protect his own energy and respond with awareness, not addiction. Because when you understand that preference is often the language of unhealed emotions, you stop reacting and start observing. You stop chasing chemistry and start discerning character. And in that space, you become untouchable. Not because you reject intimacy, but because you honor the truth behind it. A man who blindly trusts based on chemistry will always suffer. Why? Because chemistry is a feeling. And feelings can be deceptive. They're real, but they're not always rooted in reality. Chemistry can be electric with the wrong person. It can feel like destiny with someone who's only meant to be a lesson. It can burn so bright, so fast, that it blinds you from seeing the red flags waving right in front of your face. And when a man confuses intensity for intimacy, he ends up pouring his loyalty into someone who only wanted to taste his energy, not cherish it. He gets emotionally hooked, sexually bonded, mentally consumed. and then broken. Because chemistry without character is a trap. But the awakened masculine, he doesn't run from desire, he doesn't suppress it, he doesn't label all women as dangerous or manipulative. No, he masters desire. He feels the pull, but he doesn't get dragged by it. He sees the beauty, but he also watches the behavior. He honors attraction, but he follows discernment. This kind of man is rare, because it takes deep inner strength to say, yes, I want her, but I will not lose myself for her. It takes discipline to enjoy chemistry, without mistaking it for compatibility. It takes awareness to see passion, not as permission to trust, but as a signal to slow down and observe. This is what leadership looks like in the masculine, not domination, not fear, not control, but clarity, discernment, and self comment. Because real power isn't found in chasing every connection. It's found in choosing the ones that align with your mission piece and your standards. So remember, desire is not the enemy, but blindness is. See the woman, feel the chemistry, but follow the truth and lead with the strength that comes from knowing who you are, even in the heat of temptation.